Hello, and welcome to a very special Extremely Casual Gamers DLC podcast with Ali, Chris, and Guy. This is a casual gaming podcast for the everyday gamer, and on this week's DLC, we have a very special guest. Now, Guy, I'm going to just throw it straight to you because I think you're going to do this guest a lot more justice than I am.
This is very exciting. So we've had guests on the podcast before. We've had Bree, we've had my wife, and now we're really leveling up because we're a gaming podcast, and we've got somebody from the gaming industry.
Wow.
And they are from Weta Workshop. Woo. They are a game programmer. Hello, Nicola Best. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No worries, Nicola. Welcome to the studio. Just for listeners that are listening right now, you are actually familiar with our podcast, which warms my heart to hear.
Yes. So I when I obviously heard about it, I decided to go back and watch some episodes, and I was like, this is great. So
good.
I watched some more.
Wait, have you joined the Facebook group? Because I saw today there's 499 members.
You got me. I actually don't use Facebook.
See, I'm the same, and I only have it so that I can use this group.
I actually went looking for a Discord server, and you don't.
We've been told many times to have a Discord server, and I think some of our listeners have even offered to set one up, but because we are extremely casual...
Yeah.
Oh, there is one, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Set one up,
Yeah, we're so casual that we don't even understand Discord.
It's okay. I obviously, because I develop games, that's where a lot of information comes from. A lot of our game dev groups are in Discord. So I was like, oh, that's easy. I'll just, add your server to my list.
And then when our server didn't come up, were you like, noobs? I'm not going on that podcast.
No, I actually went, wow, you are extremely casual.
That's what we put it in. There it is.
We live up to our name. Now, people listening along, they would have heard the words game programmer and they would have heard the words Weta Workshop. So obviously you are here to talk to us today about the very anticipated release of Tales of the Shire, which comes out on the 29th of July. Mm-hmm. And you, how involved in the creation of this game were you? Like, how much of a footprint do you have on it?
A big one.
A big one?
Wow.
Yes. So as a game dev programmer, I worked on the technical side of the narrative, what we call the narrative of the game. So Tales of the Shire, the tales. I also had a hand in gardening, planting plants and flowers, which is something you can do in the game. I also had things to do with decorating your hobbit hole, another thing you can do. So if you want to change your wallpaper or your flooring.
Yeah, right.
I helped with that part. Another thing I did, which I talk about a lot because I'm very proud, is I did the characters looking at each other and the player.
Oh, so like that in itself is a thing you obviously have to develop, but you're actually responsible for the sole interacting of like NPCs and players.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
does that mean you're an expert at that in real life? Like I could look at you in a certain way.
There's a lot of math.
It's mostly math, right? Okay.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, and also you touch on gardening and a large portion of the game because it's a cozy game, Tales of the Shire. It's set in the Shire, so if you've ever wanted to be a hobbit and live out that fantasy, you will be able to at the end of July. How integral was it? You say planting and stuff like that, but how integral is it to get that sort of gameplay loop perfect so it's giving the right amount of satisfaction, like visual satisfaction, you're achieving stuff's growing. How hard is it to nail that sort of thing?
Oh my goodness. You asked me not tough in that I can't answer it, but that would involve a lot of discussion about like design and art, which are fields that obviously as a programmer I only vaguely touch when I'm working with the other people in my team. But I think my team members have done an amazing job in achieving that. Creating this loop, creating a really satisfying way to live your cozy life as a hobbit in the Shire.
Yeah, and because when it comes to programming, are you playing other games and drawing from other games inspiration that have, So, because for example, one of Ali's favorite games is Stardew Valley, which has an amazing, planting, cooking and, loop as well.
Yes. But obviously because it's a Lord of the Rings game, we have to draw on J.R.R. Tolkien's works. So we heavily did that. So we were looking at the books, so The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and drawing our inspiration from what was in the writings that he did and Tolkien's vision of hobbits and the Shire. And we were able to do that at Weta Workshop because we have already worked on Lord of the Rings products. So we had all this, we knew the people to talk to. And we already had people in in Weta Workshop that could help us do that. So it was really cool on that side, working with such a huge like pop culture.
Yeah. Well, it's a
IP.
juggernaut, really. It's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
And just being able to work that into the design to make everything so satisfying in a Lord of the Rings way, but in a cozy, like comforting way.
Comforting Lord of the Rings.
Because it is such a big IP of Lord of the Rings, and this is the first time there's been a cozy game that's done about it, has there been an immense amount of pressure for you guys to do it properly, just for those people that, you know, who love Lord of the Rings,
Rabid
and
fans,
love The
man,
Hobbit?
yeah.
And one of the biggest things about Hobbiton and the Shire is that cozy feel of, like, you know, you watch the movies and you read the books and you really imagine yourself in that vibe. If you visited Hobbiton, you genuinely imagine being a hobbit. So did that add a lot of pressure for you guys to really nail that feeling?
We put the pressure on ourselves.
Good, yeah.
We're mad fans,
Great.
huge fans of Lord of the
awesome.
Rings, and we were like, we have to get this right.
Yeah.
We just how do I explain it? Sorry. We would go into making things and be like, is this Lord of the Rings enough? We'd have copies of the books everywhere.
Yeah.
In the office, and we'll be constantly like, someone will be dying. Oh, I need to check what Tolkien wrote about this particular thing.
Yeah, right.
And just that was with art design, programming a little bit. That's very technical, so we kind of get the information fed to us from the rest of the team, and they've already done that research. But yeah, it was we put the pressure on ourselves to the point where we'd obviously have our good our work reviewed by like Middle Earth enterprises who control Lord of the Rings IP, and they'd be like, "This is great."
Oh, wow. So
nice.
So it's got the seal of approval from the people that,
Yes,
you know, the
absolutely.
absolute professionals. From Gandalf.
He's giving it the big
The
thumbs up.
Fellowship has sat down and they're going, this game's great.
Well, it's one of the things you touch on there, which I really almost need, right? So I'm a big fan of quite a lot of different genres in gaming and novels as well, you know, and like worlds like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, you know, Game of Thrones back when that was massive as well, is hearing that you guys were all fans. Because I picture, as soon as I heard, for example, one of my favorite games of all time is Elden Ring. Very different. I heard that there's going to be a movie about that, and I'm like, oh God, Hollywood's going to do something with like this thing that I cherish so much. But if I found out that they were all fans, which turns out the director has played it 7 times or something, I'm like, oh,
Your
great.
faith, yeah.
Yeah. So being a fan super integral to working on this game, or did it just so happen that you all were fans because you all work at Weta Workshop?
Yeah, we were fans because we worked at Weta
Yeah,
Workshop.
right, okay.
Yes, I was brought on to Tales of the Shire in Weta Workshop's game studio a couple of years after they started the work. So we started on Tales of the Shire as a concept came about in 2019. Obviously, at that time, we were all kind of like staying at home, sheltering in place almost. And the concept came about that we realized that ourselves and everyone else was kind of isolated, lonely, and wanted something that was comforting and relaxing and could take their minds off what was going on. And because being Weta Workshop, you were surrounded by Lord of the Rings. If you've ever been on the tours, there's in Wellington, there's just, Lord of the Rings stuff everywhere. It's great. And people were like, and then we've got cozy games, Lord of the Rings. What's cozy in Lord of the Rings?
Definitely the
Hobbits.
Shire, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so and for example, the hobbits never want to leave and go
Yeah.
on this big adventure.
No.
They
Yeah.
love the Shire.
There's no big adventure.
Yeah.
Just
No.
you have your home, you have your community, you have your friends, your food. You just get to
That's a big part of it,
relax.
food.
Yeah.
Because in the Lord of the Rings movies and the novels and things, like it's massive on how like dedicated hobbits are to eating and getting people over to eat. So I imagine that plays quite a big role in this game as
Yes, we have 3 words. Food is love.
well. Food is love.
Food is love.
I've seen that because
yes.
like the sort of the main pillars of a cozy game are like your gardening, fishing, decorating, and cooking. And the cooking aspect with your game that makes it stand out from a lot of cozy games is it's not just you grow vegetables and you pick them and then you get some fish and you just whip it and then all of a sudden it gets turned into a meal. Like you actually cook it yourself and when you're chopping a lettuce you can chop it quite finely, you can chop it coarsely, and when you're cooking for a certain guest that's come round you can find out that they like spicy food.
I only like coarse lettuce.
Exactly. So you can when you have friends round in the game, you cook for that person and you get to decide how it's done. You get to cook your meat a little bit more tender. And I was like, that's that's what makes it stand out as well, from what I can see as well.
It's the cooking side is really cool. I actually didn't have anything to do with making that part of the game, but it is like an integral part of the game, and it is when I do get to play it, it is so much fun.
So you've obviously the team would have been playtesting and doing all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
When you were doing the cooking, for example, as you mentioned, I was watching the thing and it was like, how much salt do you want to put in it? And you've got to shake. And I was just like, it must be. And obviously you didn't work on this exactly, but it must be hard to really toe that line between, making it fun and engaging to do this stuff and not going too far where it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm actually cooking here.
When we started, we had all those little we obviously had to tweak all those by testing every recipe.
Yeah,
and it
right.
was just like, oh, that's too much salt, or
Wait, in real life?
Well, yeah, we had. Well, I wasn't the tester, but I know. Yeah, QA had to test.
Like
QA has to test everything in the game.
amazing.
Really?
That's how game dev QAs work. They do a really good job, but it is a really hard job.
Yeah, right. Okay. And so at this current time, what's the date? Is it like the 10th currently where we're sitting at 9th?
It's 9th today, yeah.
So 9th today. This will be coming out in a few days' time, so it might be about
20
the 12th or the 13th or something. At this point in the development timeline, how is Tales of the Shire looking in terms of just so that us extremely casual gamers get an understanding of like the game development timeline?
Oh my goodness! So, well, at this stage, it's done.
It's done, right?
It's absolutely done.
Yeah.
So I'd say we're at the like marketing stage.
Yeah.
We're like promoting the game. It is done. We are ready. We're just waiting for the day to come when everyone can actually play it.
Yeah. Frodo is standing above Mount Doom and he's about to drop the ring in. That's what, if you were to put it into Lord of the Rings terms.
Except there is no Mount Doom in this, is there?
No, of course not.
Because Mount Doom's not cozy.
It's not cozy.
No, but I'm meaning like in the terms of in the 3 games, like that's how far we are ahead. But Ali, speaking of the movies, you've not watched the movies, have you? I actually didn't know that, but I just assumed you didn't.
No, so I was going to ask, as someone who ashamedly has never seen the movies, never read the books or anything, but loves cozy games, do you think it's a game that someone like me would enjoy?
Oh, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, we absolutely made it in mind to suit Lord of the Rings fans and suit cozy gamers.
Cool, smart.
Yeah.
So you might get me. Okay, all right.
Because, like, for example, our podcast, I like to think of it as something where gamers can listen to it. Not hardcore gamers that want to, have discords and stuff, but like gamers, and then their partners or their friends who might happen to also be listening can also hopefully enjoy it. Is that something you try to keep in mind too when you guys are making a game? Like, this needs to be for cozy Lord of the Rings fans, but also it needs to appeal to as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And and how hard is it to strike that balance, right? Because
Yes. So you could put in all the Lord of the Rings lore, like make it really like you've got to know every nuance of Tolkien's works to be able to do this game. No, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't even have to if you don't want to follow the Tales progression of the game in Tales of the Shire. You could just go around and have a pretty garden that you've made and go and forage for some mushrooms to cook a meal. It's totally up to you how you want to play the game.
Yeah, right.
It's fun, actually. Maybe I'll finally play this game and then watch Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. Who knows?
That's the biggest promise of all time.
What you witness here, Nicola, is a classic Ali promise, where something that should be done and actually easily achievable
I will.
is not going to happen.
I
Whereas,
always believe I'm going to do it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So what
I
Ali
believe
does,
in myself.
she'll say something to get our thumbs up at the time, and then know later on that she's definitely not going to do it.
Look, we're extremely casual.
Thank you, Nicola.
This is how it works. I totally understand. I am at home. Aside from my game dev job, I am an extremely casual gamer.
Yeah, right.
I understand.
Yeah, right.
Canonically, with the game, with the tale of Tales of the Shire, where does it take place? Like, does it follow? Because obviously you've been using Tolkien's work as inspiration, and you refer to it. So, is there a part of, let's say, from the start of the movie 1 and the end of movie 3? Whereabouts does it take place? Is it?
So we say it takes place in the Third Age.
Yeah.
Which is a very that. Won't make sense to you.
Thank you, no, it doesn't.
So is the first stage, when's the first stage? Is that the Hobbit books?
No.
Or is that pre that?
No, it's so you got first, second, third, and then fourth age, which is not, which is kind of like after the Lord of the Rings.
After everything's happened. So this is Third Age.
Third Age.
Right, okay. So are they off on an adventure right now while this is happening, or?
So we really we don't focus on what's going on in Middle Earth.
Yeah,
or
right.
the reality of Middle Earth is kind of left out of the picture.
Because it's not
of Tales of the
cozy.
Shire.
Once again, that
It's
stuff's
not.
definitely
yeah.
not cozy.
So what you've got in the game is, to start with, you're a hobbit, and you're moving to a new location within the Shire to start fresh.
Perfect.
It's called Bywater, and you are taken there with a very well-known character, Gandalf.
You've heard of Gandalf?
I have.
Yeah, who introduces you to Bywater and lets you go on and make your new life. So that's the start of the game. You get to customize how you want your hobbit to look in the
Okay.
game. So you get to make it like you, or maybe how you want to look, whatever you want. And then you are taken to, you get to go to your hobbit hole and you meet Bywater's postman,
All right.
who introduces you to your home, your new home, and then invites you to go and meet more of the community in the Green Dragon.
Which is the pub.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've had a beer in the Green Dragon.
Yeah, right.
I'm jealous.
Have you actually in Matamata?
Yeah.
Is it a real damn? I need to go.
Is it actually, have you not been to
No, I
Hobbiton?
haven't been
Oh my
there.
god, in Hobbiton,
I've also not been.
you go
I know,
around.
I know. I'll explain.
No, that's worse than no, I haven't.
No, the Green Dragon is like a huge part of the Hobbiton tour. I've had many a beer in there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's great.
In terms of like you mentioned, like outfits and stuff, and personalize them to look like whoever is playing wants them to look like. Like how broad of a range of sort of outfits and stuff are there? Like if your hobbit's fallen on hard times, can you dress it just like Guy is right now, or like like what's can it wear a suit, for example?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yes. I just didn't want to. the inside. No, you can dress however you want. You can be the fanciest hobbit that's ever been in Bywater, or you can be you don't care about clothes. You just shove on whatever's there, and that's good enough because you've got other lovely things to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
You mentioned the postman who sort of meets you at the door and shows you your house. I take it from that the post, is that like a way a lot of the gameplay happens?
Yes.
Like, do people, is he quite an integral part of the game?
Yes.
He's how he delivers the quests or something like that. So-and-so needs your help with...
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, letters are very important. You have a post box, or letterbox, post box we say, at your gate to your garden, and you should check that regularly. Because it gives everyone sends letters,
Yes.
and it's just a great way to give you an update on what's going on around you and what tales
What tales are going on?
are going on.
Yeah,
So,
right,
yeah.
Roadmap-wise, I know obviously the game hasn't released yet, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but obviously with game developers and stuff, you are always thinking in the future. Is there DLC plans in the future? Like, is there anything... Is it expandable?
So at this stage, we're focusing on the Tales of the Shire and making that the best that we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I suppose you got to really nail down that thing first, right? And because this is the first of... There's not been another one of these. So there must be a lot of pressure to nail this first thing so that you can then think bigger.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we just got to keep at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get after it, do as many great podcast interviews as possible. Yeah. What's your team like? How many people are on your particular team?
So with game studios, the amount of people can fluctuate depending on where you're at in the process of your game. So because we're in the marketing stage, we don't have as many people as obviously we did when we were in full production stage, which is when you're doing all the work to get it really good.
Yeah.
So at the moment we have, I believe, 25.
Yeah.
Which is like still good size. Yeah. And that's split between, so we have our art department, so that's 3D art and 2D art. And we also have animation in there as well. And then we have our programming department, so all our programmers, we do different programming jobs. And then we also have our design department, so that includes like what we call UI and UX, which is user experience. And then also just regular designing, like functionality in the game. Mm-hmm. And then we also have production, who keep us all on track and make sure we're actually meeting our goals. So that's usually how a studio, there's usually other departments, like you might have like an audio or sound department. You might also have, depending on your the tech, like the consoles you're going for. You might have departments based on those. But we just have those departments.
Yeah, right.
We focus on those.
And this game, it's coming out it'll be on like Steam, for example.
Yes. So it's going to be on Switch. It'll be on PS5. It'll be on Xbox and Steam.
That's great.
Is it a Switch 1?
So
2?
we've made it for Switch 1.
Yes. Which means it'll be on Switch 2.
I don't know.
Like potentially,
Actually.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So and then
I can't confirm.
you can't confirm nor deny that. How hard is it because that array of consoles and gaming platforms you just mentioned, they all have very different capabilities, for
Absolutely.
example. How hard is it to make a game? As soon as someone says, hey, we want it on everything, how hard is it to do that?
It's so hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I come from a background of working on iOS and Android
Yeah,
games,
right.
as
Okay.
well as obviously like PC and Xbox console games. Very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
Not impossible. It's just, goodness me.
Yeah, because they must like the way an Xbox works would be very different to the way a PlayStation works, even though
Yes.
it's the same titles, right?
Yeah.
Because I often notice like a game will come out, especially if the studio's owned by like, for example, PlayStation. It'll come out a couple of months earlier than the Xbox version might come out.
That's very true.
Yeah, right. And so is it quite hard to take this product and then specifically make it work on the different?
Yes, and being able to release them at the same time is also extremely hard, which is
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so everything will come out on the 29th of July.
Yeah.
That's American Pacific time, which is 4 a.m. the 30th for us. So it's so hard.
I don't know how to.
It's just I wish I could like give you all like my like story, like I've been in the wars.
Yeah,
Story.
yeah.
That's not what we're here.
In the trenches.
But we've got this. But now I've got a cozy game that's like relaxing and calming, and I could just be like, it's okay.
And you're
Yeah.
excited about the release?
So excited.
Great.
Yeah.
So that's
So
a good
excited.
sign,
Oh
right?
my goodness. I can't wait for people to play it. I want people to make memes of the game, like in the game
yeah.
of the different characters, because obviously we haven't introduced all of them, and I'm so excited for people to meet some of the characters because they're really cool.
Yeah, right. See, that's such a nice
cool.
thing to be involved with because, like, the
Yeah.
only other sort of industry where you get that is like maybe if you've made a great TV show or a
Yeah.
movie and you've edited it up and you can't wait to unleash it on the world. I could also imagine a lot of times you're like, oh my God, we don't have enough time. I can't believe we're putting this thing out. Whereas you guys are like, can't wait to get it out there.
Yeah. It's just so cool because obviously we've working on Tolkien's like writings and his characters. He was just such a good developer of a character that we
Yeah.
were able to like. We've put in some iconic characters into the game as well that he wrote.
Yeah.
So it's just seeing them like have more of a backstory and come to life in a game was just like, oh my God, so cool as a fan. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's almost fan service, right? Because whenever you love something and one of those iconic characters pop up out of nowhere, you're instantly just so fizzed up.
Like Gandalf.
Oh, so Gandalf's there straight away. I love that.
So Gandalf, so in a lot of our videos, we show Gandalf taking you to Bywater. Actually, when we first, when in Dev, we brought Gandalf into the game, we're all like, oh my God. Like, at work, like us devs, that know the game inside, you think we'd be all jaded and over it. We were like, yes! So yeah, that was very exciting.
Yeah, it
moment.
sounds like you've got such a passionate group of people working on this. And it gives me
Absolutely.
like you were saying, it gives me so much faith that this is going to be a really, really, really cool game. How did you, I know this is kind of going back a little bit, but how did you personally get into like game development and stuff like that? How do you get there?
I have a great story on
Do
that.
ya?
So I actually got into game development programming, out of spite.
Oh, love it. Okay,
Right.
tell us
Oh my
more.
God,
Completely out of
yes.
spite. So I was working in like under a big corporation in an office. I had to wear suits, had tidy hair, makeup, heels, like
Oh, that is the opposite of this podcast.
Yeah.
I know, absolutely. It was like not all big corporations. You do wear those clothes, but you
Yeah.
don't. It's not all like that. But this particular one was very toxic. It was I was bullied. It was
Oh,
I
gross.
wasn't performing as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
the career for me.
No.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I need something else. I did do a degree, but unfortunately didn't pursue it as a career,
Yeah.
which was in industrial design.
Yeah, right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was obviously quite creative, but
You
like
might though
STEM.
one day, you know, if a factory comes to the Shire
no,
and you
no,
have to
no.
program that in.
So game development programming actually uses elements from industrial design degree.
Perfect.
Really?
There you go.
Yes.
Go full circle.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
So you did that, yeah, and
Yeah,
then
so I went. I need a better place for me in the world. In corporate, well, not corporate world, but like
Yeah,
working
Just to make
world.
money.
Yeah, I need to make money. So I'm like, okay, what's a job where I don't wear a suit? And then they're like, oh, programmers don't wear suits. They just wear like hoodies and jeans. I'm like, okay, great. Like I did do a little bit of programming in my degree. Let's check that out. And then I'm like, oh, what other kind of programming? Like, oh, programming degrees. I could do another degree. Oh, that's so long.
Yeah.
And then I found a game development college. So now you have degrees, proper degrees for game development. But back when I studied, there weren't any yet. So
Yeah.
I had to go to a private college. And I found a private college that had like a really like 4 years crammed into 2 programming.
yeah.
And then you'll be ready to work. And I was like, oh, I'm doing that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I went and I grilled them, and they were like, "Oh, yep." They answered all the questions I had right because I was like, I don't mess this up. And then I went and studied that 2 years, and then I got a job straight out of college.
yeah.
Nice.
And I've worked. So I followed my career. I worked freelance contracting. I've worked in advertising, game dev, VR. I've worked in exhibitions, art galleries. They're all like game dev adjacent jobs.
right.
Yeah.
And then I was my contract was about to end, and I was like, oh hey, my career's like, oh hey, I have like a job. It's at Weta Workshop, and I'm like, Weta Workshop make games, and the recruiter was like, yes, you should apply. This is a perfect job for you, and I'm like, okay, let's apply.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
That's
how
amazing.
So
And for people listening, because I think a lot of people listening to this podcast, and I'm certainly in that category, don't know if you guys are, but I would love to be involved with
Making
the world
games.
of
Oh my
making a
God.
video
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
I'd
so
love to.
yeah, it's like something that in my brain I'm like, it's unattainable. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get there. I don't have any of the skills.
Yeah.
I think my ideas are good. They're probably terrible. But is it an enjoyable field to get into?
it's tough and rewarding.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Luckily, with game development, you don't have to have it as a job to be a game developer. So you're still a game developer, even if you are an extremely casual game developer.
Yeah, nice.
Even if you just get to work a couple hours on the weekend on like a game that you're making, a
Yeah.
little like narrative game or a little like like point and click adventure, whatever. You're still game dev. There's so many resources online. Like you just type in like game dev how to start. There'll be so many videos.
Yeah, right.
It's a very inclusive like sort of hobby and commercial scene. We have groups, like every city has like a game development it's called independent, so indie game development group that'll usually be support for you if you have questions or like, hey, I want to like learn how to do the programming side. Where do I start? And it's like, oh, there's this software, that software. That one's probably good if you have a little bit of programming knowledge. That one, if you don't, or you could use this software that you don't have to program in at all and make a game. It's just, there's so many options. It's actually overwhelming to the point where you probably should be asking these groups like just for help where to start.
I also get the feeling too that these groups would be like stoked to have more interest in their field, right? It seems like a very welcoming and like, hey, this is a growing,
Yeah, especially we love like diverse people joining game dev. So I know the group that I'm in Auckland, for example, are super welcoming of anyone. We don't mind if you're extremely casual game dev, or if you like that's your job or you run a company. That's fine. Like come and hang out and we'll like chat and do events and talks and.
That's the same as gaming, right? Like anyone who's into video games, because that's what this podcast is sort of about, is. Oh man, hey, what are you up to? What are your hobbies? And you'll be like, oh, I like watching football, and it's like, but yeah, what do you do the most? Like, I play video games, but people are sort of like not ashamed, but they're embarrassed to put it out there.
Yeah.
Whereas we're like straight up, my favorite hobby is probably playing video games. Is it a bit like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're just so keen for.
Yeah, often you'll be talking to people and it's just like, oh, I just do this on the side, and they're kind of ashamed, and I'm like, that's all right.
That's awesome.
What's like your day job? The one that pays the bills. And they're like, oh, I do this, like something completely different. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
awesome.
What are you making at the moment? Like, it's just like, oh, that's an interesting point. Let's go back to game dev stuff.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the reality is you have to make a crust somehow.
Yeah.
And then if people, because I know listeners of this show, there are a few of them that are actually developing on the weekends and stuff, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah. What are your
Absolutely.
main skills being a programmer? You obviously, if you're involved in the narrative, that requires creativity. But
Yes.
then being a programmer, that sounds like it requires
So
a bit
there's
of left
something
brain.
called a creative programmer.
So you've got like just two brains.
Yes.
I don't know if I
Yes.
could do that. I'd be too creative. I don't know maths. So you've got to know maths, but you've also got to be creative.
Yes.
Wow.
damn it.
Absolutely.
What a genius.
Which is the one, which is the role in the if somebody wants to get into the gaming development world, what is something you would recommend if they are terrible at math, but they like to be creative?
Yeah.
Start a podcast.
So the funny thing is, game development is one of the ways where you can actually learn math in a way that makes sense.
Right.
Because a lot of the concepts I learned in my degree didn't make sense to me until I actually started doing game dev. And I'm like, that's what that does. So when people talk about like, oh, algebra, I'm never going to use that again. Guess who uses it every day?
Really?
Me.
Really?
Yeah. But
No
now
way.
that it's applied in a practical setting, you can understand it
Yeah,
better, right?
I just go boom, boom, boom. Exactly what I want. Like, give me that dot product. Give me
Yeah,
that.
because
yeah.
at school I'm sitting there thinking this is pointless.
Yeah.
But if it has a point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, all good.
Because I
Yeah.
remember being like, I'm like, well, x equals 3. And then the teacher will like, show your workings. Like, I don't want to. I
just
know
know.
the answer's 3. I'm like, but it doesn't count unless you show your workings. Like, well, I don't know the working.
Yeah.
See, in a game, you can make x equals 3 means that the sky lights up in a sunset. It's like, wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
see,
you
I
can
do
see it
that.
happen.
Damn it. So this
Whole
is,
different language.
so gaming makes math cool. That's
Yeah.
what I'm taking away
Nice.
from this.
Absolutely.
There
Love
we
that.
go.
Aw.
One more thing real quick about you. You said you're an extremely casual gamer. Other than playing the Tales of the Shire on the 29th of July / 30th of July, what other games are you playing? What's your interest in terms of
Yeah, at the
gaming-wise?
moment, playing Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket a
Nice.
lot.
Nice.
That one's so great when I'm busy because I can just jump on for like 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night.
Yep.
If I have a bit more time, I do try and jump on the PS5 if I can.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to play like a long-term game, and I just never get to start it because I'm like, oh, it's too much.
That's
like,
what Ellie
yeah,
does.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
amen, sister. I'm the
Too
same.
much.
Yeah.
I can't commit. It's
Yeah.
just I can see
I'm not gonna
everything
start at
that's
all.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
going to start.
I think I need my partner to like because he's a mad gamer, but he games like so much. He's back at studying at the moment, and he's just on a break like holiday right now, so he's just gaming like 8 hours a day.
So, he probably wouldn't
he needs to like
this.
force me to like sit
Yes.
down and take the controller and start.
Oh my
the
god,
game.
he sounds
Yeah.
like me and Chris, and you sound like Ellie. Play a game.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us. That was so insightful.
Oh, we could talk for another hour.
Yeah.
Like
I
I've
know.
just so many questions, but yeah, thank you so much for coming in. It's been really nice to talk about this game that's been made, predominantly here in New Zealand for an IP
Mm-hmm.
that means so much to a lot of us here. So we're really excited for the release of the game on 29th of July.
Honestly, I'm not just saying this, guys. This actually
Cheers.
sounds like a game I would enjoy. Even though I've never seen or heard or read The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbits, I think I might give it a go. Can I have a free code? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, to introduce it as like Hobbit-sized problems that you solve in Hobbit ways, which
Nice.
means they're small and achievable.
See, that's for me. I don't want the big. That sounds
it's not
perfect.
big.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a deal now. I'm going to play it, guys. I'm going to play it.
It means
Yay.
nothing to me, but okay, it's great. It's very exciting. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in. That was such a great chat. So confirming it's coming out on the 29th of July in most areas. It might be early morning 30th July for New Zealand. And confirming it is on Nintendo Switch 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yes.
And PlayStation and Xbox and on PC Steam as well.
Exactly.
Yay.
Tales of the Shire coming soon. Thanks for
Woo.
coming in.
That's all right. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.